1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster
Movie.
fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
This is TJ Storm, and you're listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. 31 Days of Horror. Oops, all werewolves. This is day number 19. And joining me today is my friend David Carson, returning to the show. Welcome back, David.
Well, thank you, Dominic. It's good to be back and talking about werewolves.
Yes, today we're talking about I Was a Teenage Werewolf from 1957. It is directed by Gene Fowler Jr. It is an American International Pictures production and apparently one of their most successful. 76 minutes. It's in black and white. The budget was between $82,000 and $123,000, and the box office was $2 million.
Wow, with an M, million? Darn.
Yep. The cast is Michael Landon in what I believe is his first starring role. He would go on to be a big TV star, not so much of a movie star, but a pretty huge TV star. Yvonne Lime as Arlene Logan, Whit Bissell as Dr. Alfred Brandon, Malcolm Atterbury as Charles Rivers, Barney Phillips as Detective Sergeant Donovan, Robert Griffin as Police Chief Baker, Joseph Mell as Dr. Hugo Wagner, Louise Lewis as Principal Ferguson, Guy Williams as Officer Chris Stanley, Tony Marshall as Jimmy, Vladimir Sokolov as Pepe the janitor, Kenny Miller as Vic, Cindy Robinson as Pearl, Michael Rogas as Frank, Dawn Richards as Teresa, S. John Launer as Mr. Bill Logan, and Dorothy Crehan as Mrs. Mary Logan. That's the girlfriend's parents there, I believe. So, yeah, Michael Landon went on to be in Bonanza and then Little House on the Prairie and
Highway to Heaven.
Yeah.
And
Guy Williams went on to be Zorro in the Disney TV series and John Robinson in Lost in Space, and occasionally appeared on Bonanza with Michael Landon.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And this movie came out about 2 years before Bonanza started up.
Yes. So there you go. David, had you ever seen this movie before?
I might have seen it, so long ago that I don't remember seeing it, but it was vaguely, I remember vaguely seeing this in the past.
Yeah, I saw it at some point. It's on YouTube, folks, if you want to watch it. I don't think it's streaming officially anywhere, but it is definitely on YouTube.
And for free.
Yes. So, David, what did you think of I Was a Teenage Werewolf?
Pretty typical of those 1950s teenage angst movies where you have a teenager who gets angry about something and goes off on a bit of a rampage. In this case, he turns into a werewolf, but
Well, he gets turned into a werewolf. I mean, he's
true.
already on the verge of being a werewolf to begin with, but this was the first of 4 movies from API to feature teenagers being experimented on, transformed by
mad
adults,
scientist.
using them for their selfish purposes. It was followed by I Was a Teenage Frankenstein, Blood of Dracula, and How to Make a Monster. And according to Wikipedia here, in How to Make a Monster, 2 young actors are hypnotized to kill while in makeup as the monster characters Teenage Werewolf and Teenage Frankenstein.
Yes.
So I haven't seen that one, but that wow, that's something. So yeah, he starts off really angry, and they, in what I thought was a fairly progressive attitude of the movie, rather than just wanting to lock him up or send him to juvie, they want him to get therapy, which he resists. And it turns out he was right to resist.
Yeah,
Because the
it
damn
did not work
doctor,
out well.
the doctor starts experimenting on him, injecting him with something. The doctor has this crazy theory that to survive in the future, man needs to revert back to his most primitive state, and he wants to do that chemically, I guess.
Yeah, he has a little regard for his patient.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a bad doctor. He's a very bad doctor, and he has an assistant who kind of objects, but then goes through with it anyway. So he's
Yeah,
freaking useless. So he ends up killing a couple of his friends, and he wolfs out while watching some girl do gymnastics. He gets a little hot under the collar, and this causes him to wolf out. And in that incident, everybody immediately knows who he is because he's wearing a jacket that only he wears, I guess.
yeah, they recognize him by his clothes.
Yeah. So
And the girl who played the gymnastics, Don Richard,
uh,
was in a Playboy centerfold at that time, and
Mhm.
appeared in the magazine in that year in
yeah,
1957.
it came out like about a month before the movie did.
So yeah, magazine tie-in.
There's also, this is also kind of a common thing. There's a party in a haunted house where they're all being real dicks to each other,
Yeah, they
playing pranks on each other, and it looks like only one of them's showed up in a costume. But there's
yeah.
a musical number. I guess they're trying to turn one of these kids, not Michael Landon, but one of the other kids. They want to turn him into a rock star. So he and his girlfriend do a little musical number.
Yeah, that was Kenny Miller. He plays Vic, and he ends up performing "Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo," a song by Jerry Blaine
Yeah.
and Paul Dunlap. And it just kind of comes out of the blue that all of a sudden he just they play a record and he sings along with it, and this is just that a song in the middle of the werewolf movie.
Yes,
So
they
go
conveniently
figure.
have They conveniently have an instrumental recording that he can sing along to.
Yeah,
I don't. You said Kenny Miller?
yeah, Kenny Miller, I believe. Yeah, he played
'Cause
Vic
I
in the
don't see.
movie.
I don't see him in the credits here. Oh, here it is. He doesn't have any link on Wikipedia.
He's linkless. Oh
Yeah,
no.
he's linkless. Was he known at all as a singer? Or was this his
I
one
don't
and only?
know if he did much more. He did a little bit more movie stuff, and then sort of disappeared out of that sort of stuff. Although I think he's still around.
Hmm. I'm not familiar with him. I'm trying to look him up, and all I'm finding is some soccer player. So that's always a problem when there's somebody more recent that's more famous with the same name.
Yeah, they tend to overwhelm them.
Anyway, it's kind of a shitty song. I thought.
Yeah, it's not a rock song. It's kind of a swing song or something like that, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's a fair assessment. We're in that kind of transitional period musically.
Yeah.
I think people weren't sure that rock and roll was here to stay,
Not
despite the
yet.
claims. They weren't positive. Anything else jump out at you about this
Well, the effects
movie?
were very ho hum. One of those
Yeah,
things where they show his face and then they sort of fade in and out a little bit, and then he's a werewolf.
yeah, he's pretty standard. He's a Type 3 werewolf. This is basically a Type 1 werewolf story. If this is your first time listening, Type 1 is the werewolf's journey. Some schmuck usually gets bitten, but occasionally a scientist does it to him. And even less occasionally, they're just born a werewolf. But they go through the process of becoming a werewolf and learning how to deal with it. And they usually, but not always, end up dead at the end. Type 2 is there's a werewolf among us, and we got to figure out who it is. And Type 3 is the secret lives of werewolves where they have a whole werewolf society and a bunch of dumb rules that we have to find out about. And the type 3 werewolf, type 1 is you're just the wolf. Type 2 is you're a really big wolf, like an unnaturally large wolf. And type 3 is you're a wolf man, and that's what we have here. And he's wearing pretty standard wolfman makeup and doing the thing where he's got his clothes on the whole time, so they only have to do his face and his hands.
Yep, makes it easier for the makeup people.
Exactly. Keep that shirt buttoned up. So, yeah, this kid is really troubled for some reason and is just constantly lashing out at everybody, getting in fights with his friends and yelling at his girlfriend. And they send him to therapy. He gets experimented on. He gets turned into a werewolf, kills a couple of people, and then ends up dead. Do they shoot him? How does he get to
I believe he gets interrupted by the police who are trying to chase him down, and ends up riddled with bullets, and that's the end of him.
Goes back to his natural form.
Naturally handsome Michael Landon. Dead in this case, or his character is.
And then there was, I think this was the first, but there's a number of movies over the years that I was a teenage this, or I was a that.
Yeah, and this company made a lot of monster movie, space movie, that sort of thing back in the mid 1950s.
Yeah, we've covered some of their stuff before. They tend to be pretty bad.
Very very low budget.
I'm trying to see what movies of theirs we might have done. I'm not sure. It's not important.
Oh, didn't they do the Colossal Man or the Colossal Woman?
I think they might have. I'm not seeing it. They did Conga. Oof, that was a bad one.
Conga
was terrible. So, David, we are using They did Reptilicus.
Oh boy.
We're using a moon phase scale this year for our ratings. A new moon, quarter, half, 3/4, and full moon. What kind of a rating are you going to give I Was a Teenage Werewolf?
A moon and a quarter?
What?
Maybe that doesn't fit
You
in
mean
with
a
your,
quarter moon?
ratings.
No.
Yeah, quarter moon. Yeah,
that means
quarter
you're
moon.
giving. That would be a 6. That would be a 6 out of 5.
Yeah, that would be wrong.
No, it would be a
quarter
7.
moon.
A 7 out of 5.
A quarter
actually.
moon.
A
quarter moon would be a
okay.
good rating.
That's a 2. That's fair. I'd give it a quarter as well. Quarter for the girl in the clown costume.
Yeah.
Any other little tidbits, factoids you want to lay on us before we wrap it up?
No, other than Michael Landon went on from this to become quite a large star in television, making 3 different series, and doing a lot of writing and directing on those series as he went along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he recovered from being in this movie.
He did. He recovered quite well.
I mean, it was successful, so it was a hit for them. So not a bad career move, I guess. But yeah, it could have gone the other way. This could have been the only thing he ever did, and we never heard from him again.
Yeah.
So I think he came out on top in that regard.
True. And they did do The Amazing Colossal Man.
Oh, they did. Yeah, I thought that was them.
Yeah.
API.
Man in a Diaper is also known as.
It's terrible. Yeah, you'll see a lot of their movies on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh yeah, I can see that would be great material for them.
I believe this one was done on Mystery Science Theater, although I don't remember seeing that episode. But I'll have to look it up. Episode 809 from 1997. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find that. Okay, David, you got anything you want to plug? You still selling that book on Amazon?
No, not gonna plug that. No.
No?
Just
It's a good book.
it is a good book, but it's long out of print.
No, it's on Amazon, though. It's on Kindle.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you can buy it for I think $1, I believe.
David used to be involved in the science fiction radio show, and a bunch of transcriptions of a bunch of their interviews are in book form on Kindle.
Yep, that is true. Book
we'll
The Sounds of Wonder, Volume 1 and 2. And all of our audio that we recorded on the show is now at Texas A&M in their science fiction library, and may be one day available for download from Texas A&M library.
But not yet. Or have you checked
Not
it
yet.
lately?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, David, thanks for joining me. Folks, thanks
Certainly.
for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with another werewolf movie. Until then, I have been Precious D. Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements. Please do not misuse science. And we will not see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texacato Folk Rock Punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/MNFTG.